Good evening, Patriots, and welcome to the Q Lounge Live. Hi, I'm your host, Shady Groove, joined by my co-host at intheMatrixxx. It is just after 7 p.m. on the West Coast, 10 p.m. on the East Coast, everyone. It is Friday night, another week of winning. You have just gotten through another amazing week of winning out there, guys. Your president has told you point blank, absolutely do not get tired of winning. And I'm telling you, I'm seeing some pretty impressive stuff out there because I see some people. I know that we are getting tired from winning, but we aren't getting tired of winning, guys. There's so much information coming out, and you have witnessed something this week that was just incredible. What you saw was your president being freed. We have freedom among the White House this weekend, guys. What the Mueller report, the culmination of all of this, everything pushing forward real quick right up front. If you are new to Q, thanks for joining us. Thanks for coming to this conversation. This is a very, very, very big conversation, and we talk about some overly disgusting things, and so please just realize that the stuff that we're getting into is hard to take, and to armor up. Think about that. Recognize that we are here to spread information, and we're not going to get connected to the emotional aspects of the information, but we are going to have to talk directly to the information. And all of you guys out there know what I mean and know what I'm talking about, and we're going to be getting into some more of it tonight, because since the Matrix Groove Hour earlier, Q has started posting again. Please Please, out there, guys, the moderators are here to help. They're going to be dropping sauce and some links to the stuff that we're talking about, and they are not shy. So don't hesitate to ask them questions and say hello, because they're a really great bunch. And just on that note, let me please introduce you guys to my wonderful partner in justice at intheMatrixxx. Are you with me, my brother?
I am with you, and we are with you guys out there. Hello, everybody, Patriots, one and all. There's some people here that have finally caught us live. Welcome. Pull up a chair, get comfy, get cozy. This is my favorite time of the week. It is the Q Lounge live with Shady Groove. Shady, man, I'm ready to rock and roll with you. And yes, guys, what Shady was saying earlier, it is very, very true. We are witnessing stuff that is not always comfortable. That's why we need to make sure that we do armor up. You know, Q has posted the armor of God 5 times. Make sure you, take a look at that daily. And for those now just realizing the truth, those who are scared, just remember this. Q post 528. You and your families are safe. Promise. Q. Now, with that in mind, let's all get the word out. Let's spread it like wildfire on social media and out there in real life. People are ready. Okay, so after this show, tomorrow, red pill 3 people if you can, and just ask questions. And love is patient, love is kind. Do not argue, do not engage. But people are ready, Shady.
They absolutely are, and people are confused now. And I noticed this within the last couple of days. It's really started to escalate. The confusion among the folks who were told a lie. They were sold a lie, complete lie, that this was going to end one way. This thing with the investigation of the president, the idea that your president is working with foreign governments, all of these different things are going to be hard for a lot of people to take. And most of the people here that are joining us know that they have a lot of friends and family members who they've tried to tell things to before. And now that conversation is going to be a little easier, but also a little harder in the exact same respect, right? I mean, it's easier, but it's also harder. That's the big takeaway. So we're going to talk about real quick, Matrix. There's been a couple new things that have come up, but man, I mean, we're going to dig into the president's Twitter here in a little bit, and we're going to go over some of the other Q posts. But right up front, man, I wanted to maybe just talk to you for a second in front of everybody out there and voice my overarching joy that it is this movement. And the time that it took us to get here has been a long road. It's been a very long road, and it's been filled with lots of ups and downs and lots of times of need, and patriots who've been in need, and patriots picking up and helping patriots and really getting this core back together of our country. I don't really know that we can heal our country until we get this core put back together. And I think that you guys are seeing the truth. And the truth is hard, Matrix. It's hard whenever you stand back and you can really see that these people who you thought were champions of your beliefs or champions of your position in life or the Democrat Party were really nefarious characters out to destroy the very fabric of the country that we live in. They weren't trying to slightly alter or adjust for the better, or they were attacking. They were going right after the institutions that define us. Things like the voting structure, and the idea of the electoral college, and the immigration and the borders. Like this thought form that there can be an open border and anyone in the world can come here. What is that if that's not destruction of what we hold dear? And so many people are trying to decide and understand why they were lied to, and the answer isn't all that obvious, Matrix. I'm trying to see the world from a perspective of someone who was sucked in by drinking the Kool-Aid, for lack of a better term, of the whole Mueller thing. And then what you're looking at today, after what we saw on Wednesday from Robert Mueller, I mean, it honestly looked like the man did not read the report, much less write it. Was that the impression that you got?
Yeah, I mean, it was just a show. And we know that he's working to save himself, but he's listening to his puppet masters. And that was right around the time when Q said there are puppets and puppet masters, and he's definitely a puppet. I don't even think he wrote the report. Mark Meadows, Florida rep, kind of said the same thing, and I'm agreeing with that assessment.
Yeah, and look at how many times that the president. Okay, so now we've been going through this for 2.5 years now, or longer, 3 years. And but look how many times the president said the 13 angry Democrats or the 18 angry Democrats, or he always, in his Twitter, he always pointed out them. Like he was saying that the Mueller investigation was a witch hunt, but he was consistently bringing the focus to the investigators who are all biased. And as we know, we would like our FBI or our investigative team to not have any sense of bias. And the idea of them existing was to assure us that they didn't bring bias to this. And now is what we know with the cabal and the overarching structure that is controlled and how they did, manipulated both sides. You're really starting to see that the president was talking to who were attacking him, which were Robert Mueller's team. I think he walked into work every day and went in and closed the door to his office and then walked out of the building every day. Literally, I'm not sure he spoke to anyone. It didn't seem like he even knew what Fusion GPS was. He was completely confused when they were talking about Joseph Mifsud, and he didn't understand the references to Stephen Halper. I mean, all of these. I think it was on the 5 or something earlier. They were saying, we've been looking into some of this stuff. We kind of understand this story, even some of the people on Fox News, but no one on the left understands the story. They haven't been sharing information about Fusion GPS with them. They don't know about CrowdStrike. Yeah. They don't know about Perkins Coie. They don't know about the attorneys. What did we find out? We were like 6 or 8 of those 13, 18 Democrats with Mueller had actually been employed by the Clintons at some point.
Oh my gosh, it's funny. It's just amazing to watch. My favorite memes that came out of this there was 4 memes. It says, I wrote a report, and it was Mueller. I wrote 2 reports. What was it? Where am I? The guy had no idea what the heck was going on. I mean, just absolutely, utterly
is this
a disgrace to. I know. Look, I'm going to take myself out of anything and just look from the outside in. And if I was an American, I would think you guys are absolutely insane for allowing this to happen. I'm just telling you, and I'm very ashamed of my country and all of that. But what could be happening next week? The old D class could be happening because they chose that option, Shady. You remember the option they chose?
I do. They had 2.
They had 2 options.
They chose wrong.
So, I know a lot of people are frustrated. I know a lot of people want to see only Hillary Clinton in cuffs, but guys, this is much bigger than Hillary Clinton. Remember that today on the Matrix Groove Hour, we went over all of the names for your pocket D-class guide.
Yes.
And we have all that for you so you can understand how the D-class is to happen. We had that Q proof with Devin Nunes received a package today, Shady, from Bill Barr. Wow.
Right. And also this week we had the little message about the seeing the D class of the intelligence chain showing what knowingly references. And what was it like 22 years early we got a D class on that?
Yeah, absolutely. Real quick, Juanita Smith, where we go one, we go all. Q Army, keep up the good work and let's stay united. Also want to thank vocally Ricky Lee B and also Lisa Renner. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much for
this. Is Patriot supported content, guys, and that's one of the most beautiful things about it. I think that's really an interesting thing that has come out of all of this is Patriot supported news, and all of the guys out there that we work with are doing excellent jobs bringing you stuff that is completely outside of the purview of the discussion of the mainstream.
That's not my purview, Shady.
How many times did you hear purview the other day?
Oh, he's got his purview on his mind and the mind on his purview.
I mean, it was. And did you hear the president? He said they were interviewing him on Hannity last night. And Hannity said, "Oh, how much did you watch?" He said, "Well, He said, I didn't want to watch it, but then I started watching it at the beginning, and it was so bad that I couldn't take my eyes off of it. And then I ended up watching most of it. And then he even said, I didn't even want to admit that I watched most of it. And I was like, man, it's like a slow-moving train wreck. You can't, at some point, you can't take your eyes. I got up at 5 a.m. to watch it. I couldn't resist. I was like, I got to see this.
I know.
And then I was like,
and then there was a second part. I mean, geez, Shady. I mean, it was just insanity all day. And, you saw the Gang of 8 interviewing him in the Senate part. And that guy, Shifty Schiff, boy, I tell you, those guys. What about it? He's got some beady eyes, doesn't he, Shady?
Well, I'm noticing that there may be some sort of genetic connection between the Pelosi's and the Schiffs and the Ocasio-Cortezes and of the world. They seem to have like a unusual eye size. call me crazy, but they all seem to agree that capitalism in America isn't good. So I disagree with most of the people that have the trait of socialism, because I think that's what we're seeing more than anything is that trait of socialism.
As Baquette says, demons. I agree. Demons it is. And also Q Patriot Robinson, thank you so much. She says blue skies for July. So yeah, I mean, looks really good out there. Loved everyone, says Trina. Bela Forge, hello. Judy Darwin, Karen Reeves, you guys. Tire Queen, what's up? And good. So she donated to General Flynn, and she said she'll catch up next month. No worries. General Flynn, it's very important to support our General Flynn, and I think some big things are coming for him too. So, wow.
Hopefully, some big announcements.
Yeah. Well, I mean, obviously, with what really happened,
right? And
if there is no, I mean, he's off the hook. Period. I mean, if this is just garbage and D-class, and we're going to learn the truth. I mean,
fruit of a poisonous tree. He didn't lie about anything. And did you find it interesting how, hats off to Representative Gomer, Ratcliffe, Jordan, most of the other members of the Republican side for bringing some real pain with their questioning yesterday, and really putting his, kind of holding his pants to the fire there a little bit, because they were able to expose that the man doesn't understand the investigation that he's looking at. There's no way that a prosecutor can possibly think that the investigation is legitimate unless he knows what it's predicated on and how it started. And the idea he's going to sit there and look at us and tell us that, I didn't know to look there. I mean, wasn't it almost like that's what he was saying? Like, I didn't know to look at where it started. I was just told to look at this little piece of paper in front of me. I mean, that seemed like the ridiculousness I was getting back.
I didn't even write the report.
It's like, I have to stick. Yeah. And remember whenever he came out and did his little presser, he said, the report is my answer. I don't want to talk about it anymore. Looks like there was good reason for that. And they kind of were screaming and yelling at the Republicans, you were attacking Mueller. To me, it looked like the Democrats put up a guy that sort of needs to be in his chair every day, taking his meds and making sure he doesn't accidentally drive the car than he does to be there in front of people testifying under oath in front of the court.
Yeah, absolutely. And by the way, Jackie Mod there, she put up the General Flynn Defense Fund. And just to let you know, I spoke to Joe Flynn, and he wants to send his, thanks to everybody here, because he knows that a lot of us have donated, and
you guys have made a difference.
They love you guys.
You guys have made a difference. You've made a difference, and you've let them know that we inspired you to come and help. And that really, that is, to us, that is an amazing thing to think that our voices, Matrix, could be that conduit to help for him to overcome the burden that he chose to take to save this nation. I'm convinced that if he didn't take the exact steps that he took to, Q says rubber bullet, and that General Flynn was pivotal in this. This is absolutely the case, and anyone out there that is thinking about helping Mr. Flynn and his family, or has in the past, thank you so much for doing that. And it's going to pay off in multiple, because we did free our country, Matrix. I know we're not seeing it all yet, but we did it.
And he's the general number one security under Obama, guys. I mean, this guy has every secret. I mean, highest level of clearance that you could have. That's why they want him shut up. And I stand with Flynn. Yeah, absolutely, guys. You guys are amazing. Look at you guys out there. Genuine Hero Flynn, Cisco Lady Liberty, Marmar, General Flynn, loves General Flynn. So definitely get out there and support our General Flynn. And Q did say, in the end, all will be right with our great general. So
yes. And we're all standing in unison for that voice, and it's going to be the very similar matrix with the voice that we stand in unison for all of these people. Like our voices stand in unison for Seth Rich, our voices stand in unison for all of these whistleblowers. What have we found with the whole with everything we've learned from Q, that every single portal that they set up to accept incoming information from whistleblowers around the world were traps. They were setting the traps up to catch anyone that was trying to let the cat out of the bag. That was part of the reason that Q could easily see how the information isn't going to move, right? I mean, they had all of these plans in place, and they were going to, no matter what or who, and as technology advanced, they were more able, Facebook and Google, to they're using these platforms like a confessional, or like, your psychiatrist's office or something. You're admitting everything, you're plugging in, you're filling in, you're filing all your information. And then we were talking about earlier, this whole Gang of Eight thing, right? Matrix and the intelligence committee and the intelligence community being coagulated after 9/11 and the Patriot Act and the invention of this Gang of Eight and these people that just have all the intelligence, and you can trust these people. And now look at who these Gang of Eight people are. Look what they kept from everyone. Look what they actually had behind the scenes. And not only was Adam Schiff coming out saying all this stuff, other people weren't saying the opposite. They weren't telling the truth. So we have this real issue with the intelligence agencies being our deep state, enslaving us and lying to us. And we have one guy, President of the United States, standing up there saying, hey, no, that's not what's happening in Iran. No, that's not what's happening in North Korea. No, that's not what's happening in China. Course correct. And then he throws out a bomb and everybody's like, oh, but then a few days later you see what he means by that. It's a way to move the game board, because I think that the biggest part of our detriment in America is our political conversation was stifled. It was stuck. It was stuck on stupid. No one could move the conversation round and round. Immigration, comprehensive immigration, comprehensive immigration. We've heard that for 30 years. It's BS. We know it's BS. They were pretending that they were going to build a wall. They were pretending that they were going to do something. They were pretending that they didn't want them here. They were pretending that it wasn't an issue. They were pretending that these people coming here weren't stealing your social security numbers. They were pretending that they weren't voting. They were pretending that they weren't getting driver's license. All of those are lies. All of that stuff is a lie to keep you asleep. And as people wake up to this, people believed it. And the reality of cognitive dissonance is not something to overlook, right, Matrix? And people really go through an emotional distress when you begin to overcome a cognitive dissonance. And
I get that.
And it's a spell, right?
Yeah, it is. And it's a spell, and it's just lack of, looking it up for yourself. Like, look, I voted for the Bushes, okay? And when I realized that they're actually criminals, I mean, that hurt. My team is a criminal because, go R's, go D's. It's like a team. We're like wrapped into this weird mentality that it's R's and D's, my team, your team, ha ha. No. I don't care who you are or what label you want to put on. If you're a criminal, you're a criminal. And I voted for these scumbags, Shady.
I know.
And that was really hard for me to go through, because once you go down that rabbit hole, you do get a little depressed. But I want to assure you that that is something, when you realize that most everything that you know is a lie, it's really hard to get your head around. I keep telling, people that all the time, but the truth is learned. It's not told. Sean Hannity isn't going to tell you the truth. You got to go learn it. Shady's not going to tell you the truth. You're going to have to go learn it. You have to go look it up yourself. Listen to what Shady says. Listen to what, people say out there. Also listen to what, up to and including, it doesn't matter who you listen to. Go look it up yourself. Find the real truth. And you guys, what is also very interesting is what Shady was saying before with the cognitive dissonance and, the Stockholm syndrome. People are protecting their masters now. Like, oh, I support Jeffrey Epstein and FS13 and being used against the American people. And I don't need a wall because I want my kid to be molested by and guns coming in illegally and drugs. I want that. I mean, people wake up, man.
Right. That's the argument they're making.
Matter. Right. And that's that Stockholm syndrome, protecting their masters. Right. And so I just really want you guys to know that this is, we have the 7 stages of grief. And once you realize when, there's anger, there's sadness, there's, it's hard to get to that acceptance level. And you could go back to anger and you could go back to sadness. But guys, just know that this Q thing, and I've been a conspiracy theorist for many, many years, as has Shady. It's finally time, guys. It's finally time to realize that the conspiracy was played on us. Think projection, everything that they project. I mean, Shady, they called me a truther because I had questions about people that I knew that died on 9/11. I'm a truther, Shady.
Yeah, and in a derogatory manner. Like, that is currently a derogatory term towards human beings in America, is that you are a truther, and that is interpreted negatively throughout and across all social media.
And you know me, I'm like, oh, well, thank you. Are you a liar?
It's a compliment to me.
Is that supposed to be a bad thing? 5 stages of grief. Thank you, Lisa. Well, it could be 7. I don't know. I just added a couple in there. But Lisa, thank you.
Whenever you add the SJW, and we get a couple more.
Right. I mean, that's now everything I said is, a lie. No, it's seriously that, guys. Just keep fighting, keep researching, keep digging, but make sure you don't go into that, depression. And I did. When I realized all this stuff was a lie, man, I did have a hard time. I did. But I'm very hopeful. When Q came around, I was about ready to just go back to Netflix and start watching more crap until Q started posting, and I got off that couch and I was so re-energized. I'm looking at this stuff, just digging on this stuff. He's asking the questions, Socratic method. Use that with your friends. Ask them, find out what they're interested in. Just start asking questions, man. And it works. Just red pill away, but let them go look it up.
Yeah, the best thing is to say use the same methods that Q is using. Notice how, whenever Matrix and I are talking about the Q post, notice that things that are written with question marks, you speak in a question, the Socratic method. You talk in questions to people as if the things that they're assuming aren't necessarily the case, and inserting what you assume as could possibly be the case within the formation of your question, as opposed to, and then, man, you say it the best, the truth is never told. You're not telling anyone anything. I'm just like, I'm questioning, why in the world does this not add up to that? And they keep telling me that it adds up to this over here, but it's quite obviously not. And
yeah, absolutely.
And that's how we break the spell. The cognitive dissonance is an illusion. It is a spell, and that is what we are here doing, is trying to break this spell, man.
Right. And we've had a lot of spells put on us as the Q movement as well. I mean, they're calling us a cult. They're calling us Patriots, but you know what? Those spells are now broken. Where we go, one, we go all. Q had the social media summit, and, it talked about the censorship hurts people's income. These people that are doing these YouTube channels deserve to get income. If there's a market for it, people are going to pay for it. Sorry, guys, if you don't like it, you're a socialist. And who wouldn't want somebody to spread the word, Shady? Who?
People that don't want anyone to know about Q or what your president is really doing or who the real old guard is. No one else. No one else will be motivated for this information not to get out. No one else.
Right. Absolutely.
Because every human being that I know, when presented with the decision of would you like to understand the truth or would you like to be lied to by me further, they tend to choose the truth.
Yeah, I don't see no new Q yet, guys. Just so you know, we'll let you know if there's new Q.
Potential new Qs. Well, we do have some new Qs to go over from earlier in the day.
I also want to just really quick say something that am fully aware of chemtrails, just as Shady is, just as most of the red-pilled people here in this audience. And people are saying that Q said something about chemtrails. No, that was a Serial Brain 2 brilliant decode. But until we have the proof, now it's been, a little while. So we understand the chemtrails, but, let's just, keep looking at the sky, make sure. And no matter what, when Q cuts the strings, there will be no more budget for this kind of stuff, guys. So just stay the course. And, Serial Brain 2 had a great decode about that. Tough Tessie, thank you so much. Had a great decode about that, and I love it. And, check it out when you get a chance. But remember, let's not blur the lines. That is a Serial Brain 2 brilliant decode. Not Q did not say anything about that yet. Okay, guys.
That's true.
But remember, chemtrails aren't the biggest thing. We're going after the bloodline families, and if we go after the bloodline families and go after the Federal Reserve,
we stop the chemtrails.
With the chemtrails, like done.
Yeah, they're not. Okay? We're going to take their airplanes away.
Right, exactly. and yes, and Song Babe is noticing it. I'm noticing it. We're all noticing it.
I am noticing it too.
And no, Q did not, Peter Cottontail. Just let you know. But when I have the proof, we'll report it. But let's just keep looking at the skies. This is a good thing, guys. This is a good thing. This is not bad. This is not saying anything bad about anybody or anything. This is amazing times we're living in, guys. Amazing times.
So he's exactly right, and that's our position on that, and I will report that what has been inundation with chemtrails over the last 6 months has stopped in my location. I've seen it stop over the last probably 2 weeks. It's went away. So there is stuff going on.
I only had one little spray on Tuesday, I think it was, but it wasn't anything like normal. It wasn't like checkerboard skies or anything.
Right.
But it is looking very, very blue, beautiful blue skies in Florida. So keep your eyes, okay, guys? Keep your eyes on the skies. But let's keep our eyes on the prize. The prize is getting this cabal and the bloodline out of control, so we wouldn't have to worry about chemtrails. We wouldn't have to worry about human trafficking to the extent that it's going at today. We won't have to worry about all of this stuff that we're digging on anymore, guys.
That's exactly right. And so with that, take a look at this real quick. Before we get into the Q-Post Matrix, I wanted to just show all these anons how important they were, because sometimes I think that maybe they don't realize how important they are. The great, wonderful people that come here and come to our show every day. And I just wanted to let you guys see how important you were to the mainstream news, because like right here, guys, look at all these articles that have been written about you in the last few days. Look at here, 13 hours. We have Representative Omar's Republican challenger appears to be a QAnon conspiracy theorist. And 3 days ago, Omar for Congress charged with felony theft report was a QAnon supporter. Right-wing media figures and conspiracy theorists boosted a lie about Omar. Look at how they're connecting Q to Omar. Shooter's lawyer wasn't trying to kill a mob boss. He was under the QAnon delusion. 4 days ago, and really you can see them. We'll scroll through these headlines. You can I'm not going to read every headline, but you see 1 day from City Pages, you see 1 day from Media, you see 4 days from S Live or SL Live, ABC 4 days, 2 days QAnon in every headline here. And I just want to show you this so you recognize how important you are to the old guard, because this is what this represents. Here's someone writing a negative story about the Q baby, which, notice the media didn't touch that when the president made an awesome reference to a child in the audience, and it was a beautiful moment, but the media completely ignored that because that child was wearing a Q shirt. But here you go. You can see each of these stories just the last couple of days. Look at all the print. Here, right here, the Washington Monthly actually has graphics in their story. So they are putting up graphics to Q stuff in their stories. It's July 22nd, when right-wing fake news gets someone killed. And so now this is soft disclosure. This is soft disclosure for Q right here. Even if it's being presented in a negative light, it's still what I would consider a bit of a soft disclosure because of the intensity of everything. And so look at this, and this is just the first page, and then tying it into Jeffrey Epstein 4 days ago, 8 days ago, 16 days ago. This goes back a little bit further, but I just wanted to see how important you being awake is. The people that come to this conversation every day, the people that are going to be the Morpheus in your reality to help red pill someone else. That is what we're here to do. And that's really the main goal of all of this, is to simply get people to wake up for a second and look at what's going on in our world and be honest with it for 5 minutes instead of pretend like it's something it isn't. And that is what we have to do, Matrix.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well said, brother.
See if I can get over here to our next screen. Where did I put it?
Gosh, I love the new layout.
It is such a pain in the butt to find where I want to go.
And you see how it makes it look smaller on the screen too.
And it doesn't bring anything up to where you can actually see it. I thought I had it there, but I'm going to back up to here so we can get over to where we're at. And notice I'm also going to show you guys some of the content now on Twitter is being hidden. So, like, you can't see it. The browsers are set up to hide the content. So Matrix, I'm going to start right here real quick. We're going to talk about the rest of the Q post, and we're going to go into just a little bit of a recap. What happened with this meme here?
Oh, that meme. So Q asked us all to kind of go watch our friend Sean Hannity, and I'm sitting there watching it, and he talks about Mueller, and that everyone knew, many people knew, and Q says Anons know, and I'm just really in love with the way that the meme that they chose. It's got the Matrix background and the colors, and I'm just I fell out of my chair just to tell you the truth. I mean, I'm sure it's a coincidence, but I just was very honored that they used that, and then the actual bit, the sound bite to it, was talking about basically Anons knew.
And that's what he said. Many people knew. That's what he meant.
Guys. We knew, guys. Press 17 if you knew all this was a sham and a witch hunt.
It was a witch hunt.
17s. I'm going to 17 that right now. Ready?
5-5 on the witch hunt. No question about it.
Look at all the 17s.
Look at them raining down. Look at that.
Raining 17s.
Raining like in the Matrix.
Q. You guys rock. I just thought that was amazing, Shady. Go ahead.
That's awesome. And then we went over a little bit of this today, but we're going to do a bit of a recap with here Q posted after our show with 3508 Rolling Stone picture of our president with Ghislaine or however you say her name. Ghislaine, who is British socialite Ghislaine Maxwell, Jeffrey Epstein's longtime partner. The person that Bill Clinton only went on his plane like 1 or 2 times. Right there she is at Chelsea's wedding. So these connections, they are not going to be able to hide behind them any longer. And I think that that's really, really the big point here, is to target the Clintons, because the Clintons have...
And who wears an upside down cross openly?
Who would be so audactic to do that, and that would be Chelsea Clinton. Consistently wears that.
And who has a submarine license and a helicopter license and all of that?
Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein's longtime handler.
She's a hunter. She's basically somebody that goes out and hunts new members for the cult.
Yep.
And now the hunters become the hunted, period. That's because of you guys.
And they're all being exposed. Look at this. The next Q drop, 3509, Hollywood Reporter, Tarantino coming to a theater near you. Uh-oh, Matrix. What did we have? What's going on out there in L.A.? Why would they expose themselves like this? Oh, wait. Was this Anons? Who is the person who did this billboard in our chat, Matrix?
Well, I got to tell you, I mean, look at the head on Epstein. I mean, they used the jack. I mean, this was
pretty
very
proportionate.
Well done, guys.
Like, it was very proportionate. It's not just stuck up there. We also had the couple billboards earlier this year with Bill Maher. Remember?
Hey, Shift in the High wants to know what a shovel is used for. Shady.
Digging.
We don't even need the sound effect.
We don't. We are the news now.
We are the sound effect and the news now.
we are the sound effect and the news. So this was this evening, and noticed that Q pointed us to this billboard and said, "Coming to a theater near you." I think we're going to have this theater presentation really, really, really soon, Matrix. That's just my opinion. And
there used to be soon in Killbox when he said coming soon in Killbox to a theater near you.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if it's just coming to a theater near you. Like it's not soon. Like, you know how coming soon to a theater near you where they don't even have it rated yet. Now it's rated and now it's coming to the theater. So can you dig it?
We can dig it. This is, Q wants us to pay attention to this. I'm going to play just a second or two of this, not the whole thing, but the mods will drop this into you.
An investigation into
See if I can get this
possibly
to pull up
illegal
here.
and inappropriate behavior within its ranks, allegedly to protect jobs and avoid scandals. This concerns a time
Seems like that's
that
coming out
Hillary
low.
Clinton was Secretary of State. We want to get right to NBC's chief White House correspondent Chuck Todd with the latest. Chuck, good morning to you.
Good morning, Savannah. You know, there's an old saying in Washington that the cover-up is worse than the crime. But in this case, both parts of it are disturbing. Allegations of prostitution and pedophilia, and allegations that those crimes were somehow covered up or not looked into. So the State Department this morning is having to respond to those claims and those investigations of misconduct by State Department officials, including by an ambassador and security agents attached
Anons didn't forget.
to Secretary of State Hillary Clinton. And the allegations are that these investigations were whitewashed, quashed altogether, and that those orders came from high up.
NBC News has obtained documents related to ongoing investigations into some disturbing allegations involving State Department personnel and at least one ambassador. A State Department memo says the ambassador, quote, routinely ditched his protective security detail in order to solicit sexual favors from both prostitutes and minor children. The memo also says a top State Department official directed department investigators to, quote, cease the investigation into the ambassador's conduct. It's just one of what another document describes as, quote, several examples of undue influence from top state officials. On Monday, a State Department spokesperson will not confirm specific investigations.
I'm not going to talk about.
They've been covering this stuff up a long time, guys.
I can say broadly that the notion that we would not vigorously pursue criminal misconduct in any case, is preposterous.
A former investigator for the department's inspector general has complained to Congress and the media that the investigations have not been thorough because of the pressure from those high-level officials.
We take every allegation of misconduct seriously, and we look into it.
It was less than 6 months ago that another major internal investigation painted Hillary Clinton's State Department in a negative light. That scathing report on the failed diplomatic security procedures in the aftermath of the Benghazi attack.
What difference at this point does it make? It is our job.
We're getting ready to show you what a difference at this point does it make. I'm just giving you a little bit of that. The guys will drop that too. It's like a 7-minute clip there talking about the stuff that we all know quite a large amount about already. Q wanted us to remember that and to make sure that we all watch that so that we can share that. And that was news story was from June, I believe. What was it, June of this year? It was pretty recent. So that's not old news, even though there is old clips out there from NBC, ABC, and other news where they were completely on the other side and saying that this is all conspiracy and that there's no truth to any of this, and here and there consistently for however long. This is what has been going on, and this is what Q is trying to let us in to see a piece of, to know, to prove what we were looking at before is what new people are going to be looking at in the future. Same.
Shady. This was this was serious allegations concerning the State Department. The NBC anchor announced that was 2017. That report, guys.
That one was 17. But it was just recently put back up on YouTube, wasn't it?
June 19th. That's correct.
Yes. Okay. I thought that was a little older, but it had the 19 stamp on it. Okay. Gotcha. Yeah. So that is from 17.
Yep.
Thank you. So Q wants you to pay attention to that. He wants you to share that with people so they can see what's in your real conversation. Here, let's pull this meme up again and look at, Jeffrey Epstein, Polanski. They've got Once Upon a Time in Pedo Wood. It's like, wow.
I mean,
pretty impressive stuff right there.
That's some amazing. I mean, that's some serious, that. You can't just they put the head of Jeffrey Epstein on the same jacket, cut a square. Look at that, guys.
Look at the mountain behind Jeffrey Epstein.
Look at that.
See, the mountain is continued in the graphic.
Yeah.
And it looks like the car is in the Polanski graphic even a little bit.
And I come from the printing world. That's pretty amazing. Let me just tell you. That's not something that,
that's not a little billboard either.
And that's not something three teenagers in a basement, you know what I'm saying, could do. That's absolutely amazing.
So you're saying this was not Mark Zuckerberg?
I mean, hey, if he's going to be a white hat, he did something good, I guess. But no, I mean, you got to have some funds to do that, in my opinion. To print that. I mean, that's a big billboard, guys. That's huge. That's a big print. And it's the billboard company. Somebody that does billboards did that, in my opinion, or wraps for cars.
Or someone with a time machine.
Or someone with a time machine.
They could have probably pulled that off.
So take it and run, guys. Now, Shady, the next, this is, we're laughing at this stuff, but this stuff is some serious stuff. And
I know,
Shady's going to go to the next post. I think it's going to be pretty bad.
I'm going to just set the graphic up here and let him take a look at this for a second. This is showing the connections for Andre Balaz. And this is unfathomable whenever you start digging in. If the guys will drop you the link to this graphic, what the anons are digging in. But if you want to talk to it just a second, you can, Matrix.
Yeah, I mean, basically it's talking about the models and, that were used, with Ray Chandler's, oh my gosh, I just totally, my screen, this Twitter, I just cannot stand it. Hang on one second, guys.
It drives me crazy. It's already slowed. Yeah. It slowed me down so much with us doing our work this week. It's just, and then I'm trying to go change everything. And as soon as you go to move it from that to another, it goes right back.
Yeah, so this is just a dig on 3469. This is basically a Q post. The next graphic there, real quick, kind of sets it up. This is the target models that are made to fill out extensive background reports. Target models asked in detail regarding family. Target models generally greenlit based on loner insecurity, depressed. P_evaluation. Target models generally greenlit based on humble, poor family background. Prevent possible legal retaliation, right? They can't sue you. You can't sue them. The spider web connects those most trusted, those most rich, those most powerful, safe, free, highest level security plus max protect Q. So this is just a dig that some brilliant anons put together about Jeffrey Epstein, Katie Ford, Andre Balaz. I can't even say his name. Balaz. Thank you.
I don't know.
Freedom for All. There's a website, leads to, Andre Calais Ford, the Ford models, all the different modeling companies. It's well worth the dig. I know the graphics kind of small on the screen, but if you get it on your phone, you can kind of maneuver it or download the graphic from Twitter and, blow it up on your computer. But it's definitely well worth a checkout. Good dig.
Yes,
brilliant anons.
More of and the if you guys were over at all, if anyone was been working on the boards in the last couple of days since the Mueller thing has happened, oh my goodness, have the clowns gotten antsy? Have you noticed that, Matrix? Wow,
yeah,
what is going on over there is absolutely. I mean, it's like part of me wants to teach people how to go over there, and then part of me is like I feel like I'm punishing people if I teach them how to go over there.
I know I've got a post. Yeah, I got a post out there, Shady. It says the attacks here, even on Twitter and on 8chan. The 8chan Gore people are back, and it's intensifying. But we will not falter. Us anons do know how to filter. Those user IDs, and maybe if we do that, we got to make sure we teach people how to filter this crap. But it is very hard to see, and they do it. It's the clowns doing it. It's the clowns in America, the people that are protecting the bloodline trust that do not want this information out there because it'll ruin their whole con. The big con, guys. And remember, it's a big con, and it's big, which is the corruption in DC. Yes, that's big. Bigger, the wall. The wall is much more than It's human trafficking, child trafficking, MS-13, drugs, guns, you name it. And then biggest. The biggest is the big con. the Federal Reserve System, the Depository Trust Corporation on 55 Water Street, where the money comes from, guys. Antitrust is now in the news. There's a suit against, the Q posted this week, the Students for Trump or for America. I can't remember what it was called, but they posted, and Q directed us to an antitrust suit for the social media. Guys, the social media is DARPA. We paid for this stuff, guys.
It belongs to you.
I believe this is going to become a public utility, all of this.
I agree with that. I think that's the only way out of this, and especially considering all the gnarly stuff that they've been up to and what it's going to be whenever we expose it. I mean, that's going to be a big part of this conversation going forward here, guys. This is the next thing here that Q wants us to look at, which is pretty revealing and at the same time very disturbing, and give you a little bit of an insight on what is going on and what the meanings of this stuff like voodoo is. And I would like for anyone. This
article was published June 20th, 2014, guys. Keep it in mind.
And I also like for you to connect this with, if you live on the West Coast, your voodoo donuts. Guys, there is nefarious things everywhere. Take a look at what's on the menu at Voodoo Donuts and what the insinuation is with the stuff there, and the idea of the voodoo and this ritualistic practice, and that it's deep seated of cabal behavior. This is not normal behavior. Humans do not behave like this. There is a large tangent of something else feeding on us, and this is what it looks like, and that's why Q is bringing us to this part of the conversation. This is going to be not for everyone.
Happening down in Africa. There's hundreds of children being kidnapped in Africa.
Well, why do you think
this article talks about? And why do you think Oprah has a girls' school in Africa? This is a question. I don't know.
Well, a long-term question: why does Africa not catch up with the rest of the world? Why is it misengineered the way it has been intentionally for centuries? Whenever there's plenty of resources there's tons of land. There's only so much land on planet Earth, but we just simply don't participate there. There's reasons for this, and this goes back to the ancient world, and it goes back to the mining of gold in Africa and the oldest slaves, therefore the oldest contracts in the ancient world. Oldest contracts, diamonds and gold, and the beginnings of this build of the Matrix, whatever it is, right? It goes back to this area.
No, I'm just kidding. Hey there.
I'm blaming you.
I know. I want out.
He's trying to get out. We're all getting out.
I'm in the kill box. So if you see me in the kill box.
Right. If the Anons could drop that for the folks out there, Q's pointing us to this stuff, and we want to make sure we're covering it. Matrix, you got a crazy. Where'd you get this meme? Look at this.
Yeah, brilliant.
What you got out there? That's one of the good things that comes out of the boards and stuff like this. This is what I see when I look in chat. They're everywhere. Worldwide.
Thank you, Matrix Shady Mods, for all the hard work and amazing love.
We love you, Yvette.
Yeah. And Ben, we got it. Shady's going to check his email this weekend. It's been busy, brother. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. Shady, look at that meme, man. Look at that. I love it.
Does that signify strength?
That's strength right there. And that's why we got to stay together, guys.
That's why we are stronger together. Period. Stronger. And just so you guys can notice this, I want you to see what Twitter's doing. This is my wonderful new Twitter
go ahead and play
layout.
That video, Shady. Go ahead.
Let me see if I can click. Okay, I'm going to play the video. Oh, wait. Matrix.
See? Oh,
wait. No.
You got it?
No, it's not happening.
Is it playing?
No.
You can't play it?
Let me click on it, and then, what? But people are retweeting.
I can play it. But, this is the censorship. You see it?
Right there it is, guys. This is, and they're doing this with memes as well. We're getting white screens with the new Twitter build. They're not playing this video that he posted. Look at this. Here's another video that he posted right there. You can see the videos there, minute 30 seconds. You can see the views on it. It's not like I click nothing. I click on it to expand it. You see the play button. It goes away. This is censorship. This is your totalitarian regime preventing people from being able to move information around. There's no, these things, they talk about these algorithms. You build a platform, and then who builds the algorithms? Like, what are you building an algorithm for unless you're building an algorithm to stop people from seeing stuff?
Right.
There's no other explanation for it. Quote, algorithm. Oh, algorithms. Like, they say their algorithms are from Mars and they don't understand human behavior yet. The algorithms. The algorithm is programmed by the human, the person who doesn't want you to freaking know stuff, man. Like, you're trying to predict. And now look with this. This is what you're seeing.
Calls them the man bear pig. I don't know why.
Man bear pig. Oh, I know what a man bear pig is. And 5-5.
High five on that.
So there you go. There's you some down-home censorship for the masses so that you can see what Twitter is doing. And this is part of, I think we were having this discussion earlier. I think we're glad, right? I think we're glad that they're censoring me. I think that I have found that I'm glad that I'm being censored because that means, A, that we're being effective. That's for sure. We kind of know that already. But it also means that we're kind of bait. Think about that for a second. Are we as anons out there on Twitter a little bit of bait for the white hats to be able to get some predictive programming on the nefarious acting characters and watching them, how they suppress us, how they attack us, what their maneuvers are? We, as trying to bring our voices to this and them censoring us, are creating a real-time data set against which they can measure what's really happening and probably, call me crazy or a conspiracy theory or a truther, but probably gathering evidence. That's what I think that we've been doing, and I think that we've been doing quite the good job of it because they've attacked people like us and people like iPod and Lisa May and Praying Medic, and you see what's going on with MAGA Coalition. They're coming after everyone Q. They think they're going to sue Q, but they're attempting to prove that anons are Q, and I don't think that anyone told them that Q has not given us an address, Matrix. He didn't give us no.
They were so good at doxing me. I mean, and libeling me.
So they should have already gotten Q doxed. They should have been able to do it, right? I mean, they say they're the best.
Yeah, they can dox anyone anytime, according to that guy.
And I'm curious if any of the people who donated to MAGA Coalition so they could use the money to attack other people who support President Trump, no matter what they believe.
Well, I've got a theory on how MAGA Coalition worked because we can go into that later when we get our stories, but there's a very interesting MAGA Coalition story. Also, we might have Ann Vandersteel on next week too, and also Shady, you want to make the announcement?
Yes.
Who else might we have next week? Wednesday on the Matrix Groove Hour.
Wednesday on the Matrix Groove Hour, guys. Liz Crokin is going to come join us and do a full-length discussion about a lot of her angles on the everything that's going on out there. She has a tremendous amount of information to help bring to this conversation, and she's someone that we want to put some eyes on to start helping her get some get her stuff out there more. This is the only way we're going to do it, Matrix, is to start bringing people to the conversation who have, we had Tiffany on the Q Lounge last week. She was wonderful. You guys had an amazing response to Tiffany, and man, that turned out to be a great show. And one thing I thought, I was like, wow, it's really nice to have a show where we bring a guest on and we allow that guest to speak, and we don't sit there and try to drive our agenda and interrupt them 25 times whenever they're speaking. We kind of just let them finish speaking. There's people on TV that I watch, I want to wring their necks whenever they interrupt my president speaking about a coup and then start talking about Democrats. Hannity did that to him twice now. He's interrupted the president talking about the coup and diverted the conversation to talking about his rivals in the Democratic Party. Hannity, sorry, I love you, but the people who are challenging this man in the Democrat Party are irrelevant. And notice I said Democrat Party are irrelevant. None of them can challenge him. I'm not sure if any of them are going to be walking around in public by the time that this election comes around, much less the idea that they're going to stand on stage and get an arena full of people. And this president is bringing tens of thousands of people just because they want to be there in the atmosphere. They want to tailgate. It's like you got people tailgating for Joe Biden.
And let's remember who the MAGA Coalition is. We were talking about that just a second ago. The MAGA Coalition is Seb Gorka, Jack Posobiec. Unfortunately, there's several others as well, but the information that Q dropped is all public information. He led us to their website, which is very damning in and of itself. Then he led us to threat management with Catherine Gorka, who received $5,000 from them. And we know that Catherine Gorka, I mean, this is all just public knowledge. She was an anti-Trumper on the security force for security panel for Ted Cruz, right? So, we know that they're anti-Trump. Seb Gorka also got fired from the White House, guys. And he was on Hannity tonight too, so I had to turn it off. But I'm telling you right now, guys, there's going to be there's going to be a lot of revelations, and if if they go after certain patriots, which I know that they might go from, if they go ahead and say, hey, we're suing you, you can ask questions too. So maybe we'll have to ask questions of them, whoever gets served or whatever.
And I think they're coming. They're coming after anyone. I really see the idea that they are allowed to use funding to go after patriots that is supposed to be directed to getting my president elected in 2020 is infuriating. And they have the audacity to stand up in public and proclaim that they're doing it. Okay, yes, you have freedom. Yeah. We have freedom here, and that is fine. And your freedom is to make these decisions, and maybe, Matrix, this was the plan the whole time, and that's why Q outed them the way he did, was to steal a little bit of their thunder. I would imagine that they have been concocting this little scheme for quite a while now, just considering the
Well, do you remember when she called us out with the I think they had that one what was it the Aaron Gallagher method, where they went ahead and found out who was tweeting QAnon.
Right.
And Ginger McQueen had her computer on going, I want to have a debate with intheMatrixxx. And she's like calling me out, being all nasty. And I'm just like, wow. And we triggered her. She got triggered. We all went over there and just said hi to her on our live stream. But then, the MAGA coalition went ahead and told everybody my name, Jeffrey Peterson. And they were saying that I was some other guy in a video. I mean, they're liable too. I mean, they're projecting everything that they're saying about Q is really about themselves. It's very interesting to watch, and they're dirty people too. They're very, very disrespectful and rude.
But that's the thing, man. That's exactly how we identify them. That is exactly how we identify them. That's the difference between an American patriot and a socialist. Simple as that. The idea that you're angry and mean and divisive and upset at, you think Q is BS. Wonderful. You are totally allowed that opinion. We appreciate that you have that opinion. Yeah. Okay, you think Q is BS and you don't want to know what Q is. Fine. Beautiful. Wonderful. That's awesome. But you cross a line whenever you say that you're not going to try to understand something and then you attack it without merit. That is a level of hypocrisy that is part of the spell that they're trying to get you back in the corral of the old guard, right? They're trying to get you back on the back in the fence because you've strayed too far. You've started thinking for yourself, and you can't be a fan or help the president if you approve of or work with the idea of QAnon on the internet. Whoa, that seems very much like some of the other divisive tactics that we've witnessed within this movement. And you're taking information about, say, JFK Jr., and then you're weaponizing that information like Q is saying things, and then we have other accounts out there that are setting dates that are not real dates, and we have other information that's being passed around. Like, this is all being done by this same group. Whoever it is that doesn't want you to talk about Q, whoever it is that is posting all of this gory stuff on 8chan, whoever it is that's posting all the hateful, mean, nasty stuff about Jewish people in your media everywhere, and who are the ones that are standing there accusing normal people of being anti-Semitic, all of that is your deep state. That is where that's where they're hiding. That's who they are. I'm an American first. I'm an American. I'm a male. I'm an American. Then I'm a conservative. Then I am a jack of all trades, or whatever I do for a living, okay? That is who I am. I am not a conservative and then an American. Not how it works, guys. And whenever you get stuff like that inverted, you know what ends up happening, Matrix? Crazy stuff starts happening whenever you start to accidentally put your political views above your country. It's really quite compelling to see how you start to think differently about what it means to you.
Yeah.
You do. You don't humble yourself in front of it. You start thinking that you deserve it and that it belongs to you. That possession right there is a very, very big trick to get you off of the scent or the trail, which is unity, and reality is you are an American. Then you have politics. Therefore, if you're an American, we used to have civics. Civics didn't mean you're these civics for Republicans and these civics for Democrats. We had a structure of order, like right now in our branch of government, we have the order that you can't disclose classified information about people who weren't charged with crimes. But then on the other side, you have the Democrats who are saying that we can't understand any information unless you release stuff that you're absolutely not allowed to release, just to use as a narrative to keep people in the pen. And then you have this layer of MAGA coalition, a super PAC or a PAC created to help fund and reelect the president, using their money to attack people. I don't care what the people think. Why can't anyone get this through their head? Use the money to organize voters to vote for the president. That's what you use the money for. Stop paying attention to anyone. If you want to use money and raise money to attack patriots, then set up a Patriot Attack Fund. And it's your freedom. But don't do it under the guise of MAGA, because you're using MAGA.
Well, they don't say MAGA, Shady. They say MAGA because they can't force themselves to say MAGA.
Spell it the same.
Yeah, and also Demos, wow. Want to give you this message, Shady. This is my favorite type of Shady rant. Thank you, Demos. Dun, dun, dun. Oh my gosh, it was funny. I was kind of messing around last night with Cutter. She was actually talking, and her kiddos were doing a movie, and I played that dun 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 for them. And it was so hilarious because my daughter has a Snapchat to her friend, and she's like looking at it. She's like, it says 11:35 p.m. and she's like, and you hear dun dun dun, and she's just like, really, Dad? That's my kiddo. I love her to death, and she's a daddy's girl. God bless her.
Oh man, it's like these moments. There's these moments, and I've been having them too. And we can tangent off a little bit right now, but I'm telling you, I would imagine that our chat, the people out there in the chat, may be noticing it as well. But if you're paying attention with all this stuff that's happened now, we've saw some really large, compelling things occur, like what happened on 11/11 with the shockwave that around the world. And then we had Q had pointed to that specific day. We didn't see anything, but we felt something happen. We saw something happen. And July 4th, we had the crazy random earthquake that's not even anywhere near a fault line in China Lake, and that, obviously being the model that the Denver International Airport was built after, and the center of the MK Ultra mind control facilities that have been there programming people, probably an entrance into the deep underground military base tunnel system around the world, was decimated. And I'm telling you, I'm seeing things in my real world, like synchronicities that
we're making things happen.
Right.
Q,
you're back in control.
Q Patriots are putting all of this out into existence, and praying for it, and making it happen, and talking about it, and changing the conversation, and lots of things are happening, and we are making this happen. You are making this happen. Demos 74 says dun dun dun, gasps in Spanish.
Is that what that is in Spanish?
I guess so. But you guys, this is amazing. And speaking of next week, we've got the next 2 Q posts, and again, next week we're hoping to have Ann Vandersteel and also Liz Crokin, and I might actually appear, and I'll let you know, watch the Twitter feed. I might appear on Steel Truth with Ann on Sunday. I don't know if that's just a taping or when, but I'll let you know what happens. Okay, guys. But so next week is going to be another big week, and Shady's going to tell you why with these next 2 Q posts.
Yeah, right here we go. Fly Dan Fly. And this is reminding us of Q post in February of 2019. Dan Coates out, forced soon, parentheses, source Trump friend Chris Ruddy. And this was whenever they it kind of like, yeah, it came out early. Interesting, this leaked already. I think that next week we are going to see stuff on this front as well. You see, you guys, you're getting the news early. The mainstream media aren't going to know what's happening until after it happens. And you guys are getting it early because right here in the very next post, Q says Solomon on Hannity Radio, or an Anon says, this is an Anon post to the board that Q reposted. Solomon on
so that usually means that
it's affirmative.
Q agrees with what's said.
Correct.
Here. Let's check it out.
Solomon on Hannity Radio next week. Change of D&I coats gone. Declass of documents. Durham news. Said on the show. Might be on Hannity tonight. Did not say that, but this is big, so watch Hannity. And I actually, getting ready for the show, don't get the opportunity to watch Hannity on Friday nights, but I think he had Jason Chaffetz on as a stand-in tonight. But I did see the president today say that the Democrats were clowns. I meant to get that clip, and I forgot to grab that clip for you guys. So we'll probably have that. We'll tee that up for you on Monday. But there's a little bit ahead of the news. Tell your friends, Dan Coates. The D&I director, Dan Coates, is going to get the boot soon. It's like that. Right. We got the news first out here.
And D-class, guys.
And there was real quick. So I did see Tucker. And he had a guy on there again. I mean, he's doing the Friday UFO thing pretty consistently now, like 4 weeks in a row he's been doing this. Well, today they started calling them UAPs, Matrix.
What?
We have unidentified aerial phenomena. Not UFOs. And they revealed on Tucker that we are now using infrared in our systems to detect these crafts. And they were saying that these crafts have been clocked multiple times since they started using this technology at between Mach 4 and 5. And then Tucker's like, do you think that it could be China or Russia? And the guy's like, well, I don't know. It could be, but then you got to think, could it be China or Russia? No. This stuff has been here for a long, long time. And I think what people are going to recognize is this is something interesting because we know that infrared can pick up a lot more of the, let's say, the esoteric world than the regular photography. And so now we have the military using infrared and bringing infrared into, why would it have been left out? So things weren't filmed, therefore pilots couldn't be believed? Maybe? For how long has this been going on? That was on Tucker today, guys. So we're getting some red pills about now what we're calling unidentified aerial phenomena, not UFOs anymore.
And be careful of because I've seen clowns like Maggie Haberman posting about talking about the UFOs and all the different disclosure stuff.
The soft fake disclosure.
Yeah, so just be careful. I mean, we got the blue beam in our minds, and that's basically they're going to use, a fake, what is it? Unidentified flying phenomenon, or whatever it is called now.
An unidentified aerial phenomenon.
Aerial. All right, but whatever they're going to use it, just let's make sure that we, understand what's happening. And,
it's part of
Sather talks a lot about the real disclosure and fake disclosure. He's
exactly, and I think that's the conversation that that us have is the idea of that we don't want them to tell us that this is going on. What we want is D-class. I want D-class. I want to see the documents. I don't want you to come out on the news and say, "Oh, look, this is what's going on," and tell me. I want what happened with this surveillance Patriot Act stuff that got declassed 22 years earlier. I want some of this stuff that should have been declassed 22 years ago declassed. So then we can start digging through that. We'll decide for ourselves exactly what it is we think about the information once we see what is actually there. And let me just add to that while I'm here, because me and you and I have not addressed this. Do not go to Area 51, please. Stay away. I know that our anons are smart out there, but if you end up running into some moron who has been worked into a fervor by the mainstream media to go to Area 51 and somehow make a push against that installation next month, please stop it. Just recognize that stop them and tell them that they're being really, really silly and that cannot end good, and you're being moved around by the mainstream media. You're not being moved around by understanding stuff. Anons don't do things like that. We research. We know the information is in the ether of the world. We don't have to go trying to forcibly overtake a military installation where they can see you coming from miles and miles away, guys. Let's be realistic here. Sorry, had to throw that in there because we haven't addressed that, and that's really going on out there.
Yep, absolutely.
And so Q wanted us, I think this is, if I'm not mistaken, unless we've gotten some more, this is pretty close to the last one. Q wanted us to get caught up on bar strikes.
Yeah, this was interesting.
FBI raids the home of the top-level Democrat in Washington, D.C. And this
we had, there's helicopters flying around. There's a mission going on in D.C., guys.
According to sources, the FBI raided the home of the longest-tenured D.C. councilman, career politician Jack Evans. FBI agents raided the home of the D.C. councilman Jack Evans on Friday, a day after a confidential memo made public alleged that Evans knowingly violated ethics rules to benefit his friends and clients instead of serving the interest of Washington's transit agency, Metro. Washington Post reported Friday that FBI agents raided Evans' Georgetown home early in the morning, instructing Evans to wait inside. So they didn't. So our current DOJ doesn't call CNN whenever they're doing a morning raid. I'm good with that.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, I mean, look at what we saw with the whole Roger Stone thing.
17 people.
Yeah, and they said that. You know, they said the 17 people. And that's that gets us caught up on the Q post there, Matrix, and a few of the things I wanted to talk to you guys about. But one thing that I do not want to get away from right here is I have got to go into some of these presidential tweets, Matrix. I just got to go through here. We don't have to like dig into a lot of them, but I want to just go through. I want to show you this was a week of winning like we have not seen in America in a long time, and we won on so many fronts, whether it's Mueller, whether it's the mainstream media, you name it. But I just scrolled down through the posts from the president here in just the last couple of days, and so there's some video clips here we're going to get into, and we're going to read what your president thinks about this whole mess, and we're going to go back to here we go.
Let's
start on July 23rd. President, he says, so Robert Mueller has now asked for his longtime never-Trumper lawyer to sit beside him and help with answers. What's this all about? His lawyer represented the basement server guy who got off free in the crooked Hillary case. This should not be allowed. Rigged witch hunt. This was going into the Mueller. Now, if you don't know what he's talking about there, Mueller had the guy Zebkai or whatever his name is, the attorney, come and sit with him and be sworn in next to him. And we were, this is completely against anything you would ever see from a sworn in witness. And I was kind of thinking that this was a sabotage method that they were going to use to prevent the hearing from taking place. But what it turned out to be, it seemed like, is someone who actually could think sitting there to help the guy who has been on oxygen for the last 3 or 4 years get through these questions, because man, he would have not survived up there by himself. Matrix, there's no way Mueller would have survived that by himself. I mean, he would have had to like curled up into a fetal position under the table or something, because he had no clue what they were talking about. And so
POTUS warned them, and Q gave them 2 options, and they chose number 2. So full D class, public will know the truth.
Coming soon.
Possibly next week.
The year of the boomerang. Rang. So the president says, so Democrats and others can illegally fabricate a crime, try pinning it on a very innocent president, and when he fights back against this illegal and treasonous attack on our country, they call it obstruction. Wrong. Why didn't Robert Mueller investigate the investigators? Truth. It was never agreed Robert Mueller could use one of his many Democrat never-Trumper lawyers to sit next to him and help him with his answers. This was specifically not agreed to, and I would never have agreed to it. Great witch hunt. Greatest witch hunt in U.S. history by far. It has been reported that Robert Mueller is saying that he did not apply and interview for the job of FBI director and get turned down the day before he was wrongfully appointed special counsel. Hope he doesn't say that under oath, in that we have numerous witnesses to the interview, including the Vice President of the United States. And he did say that, too. He did deny that. I think somebody's in trouble, Matrix.
5-5.
And
Absolutely.
this has been
A lot of people.
A lot of people. And then here you go. He's quoting Chris Wallace. This has been a disaster for the Democrats and a disaster for the reputation of Robert Mueller. Chris Wallace, my goodness, this guy. I mean, you talk about deep state shenanigans shill Chris Wallace, who has consistently been attacking the president on obstruction. Like I swear, how do these people, Matrix, how do these people in the media stand there and tell us that they have the ability to tell us what it is that we should think about what it is that's being presented to us that someone else says in our reality, whenever they literally do not predicate what they say on the assumptions that is our law? Like they're prosecutors, they're people that have been judges, there's people that have been in the media, journalists for years, that all 110% act like they do not understand the law. How is that possible? How are we not to see the fakeness in that? It seems so overwhelmingly obvious, and therefore that gives us a little insight in how strong the mind control is, right?
Yeah. Oh, it's strong.
It's really strong.
Mind control works, man. It does.
And
I mean, just look at what's going on. But we are waking up.
We are waking people up too.
Oh my gosh. And you guys are, it's just like, just keep going, guys, and have them look stuff up. Remember that truth is learned. It's never told.
And I was going to
ask questions.
I would like for the mods to drop this to you guys. This is the 5-minute section of Jim Jordan. It was absolutely excellent. And then the 5-minute section of Mr. Gates, which was amazing.
And that Jordan thing too, guys. Remember the Jordan? We played a little bit of the body language ghost with Jordan and Mueller. So
that was on the Matrix Groove Hour, and that if you're not following her, she's really good. And she's really good. Yeah. She really gives you this extra layer of insight where a lot of us are interested. We're interested in the Twilight speak, and the Twilight speak is kind of encoded in this in your mannerisms of the way you lie and the way you deceive and the way that you conceal, and also the way that you project the opposite. You actually make body movements and in a way that's indicative of your deceit.
Yeah.
And they don't recognize, I mean, they're obviously not good enough to not do that whenever they're doing it. But so Matt Gaetz grilled Mueller. Jordan grilled Mueller for 5 minutes. It was stellar to see them have their questions in order and to come after him and to see, they just made him look like a big dummy. I mean, really, more than anything, they made him look completely incredible or completely non-credible from the get. And look at this. This is here, maybe it goes. Is it not letting me play this either? Look, it's doing the same thing. Like, I can't play these little clips. Normally, they would just run and play. Huh. We went over this tweet from the president. Truth is a force of nature.
Oh.
Boom. Then we went and looked up forces of nature. And then
a storm, maybe?
And then Anon started saying, trust the plan on Wikipedia. That was awesome.
Oh my gosh, that was awesome. That was awesome. I mean, and then the T2 as well. I mean, there's, if you're not on Twitter, you can check my tweets out. I mean, I'm not on Twitter. I can't look. You can go look at Shady's tweets and my tweets and the POTUS tweets at intheMatrixxx.com. It's right on the front page. You do not need to be on Twitter to view them. Okay.
Right.
So check out the threads that I do Q threads since not this last February, but the February before. I've got every single Q post on my Twitter. I've got threads, Thread Reader app. Also, I try to do them in threads so I can unroll them. If you don't like Twitter, go to Thread Reader app and you can catch my threads there. Subscribe to, many Patriots there have Thread Reader app. So go check it out, guys. But you can always go to intheMatrixxx.com to check out Shady's tweets, my tweets, and POTUS tweets.
And right there, we got them on display so that you can actually click on the links and go to the information that we're presenting, all right there on the website. So please do, please.
Looks like, real quick, I-70 has it looks like he's got, 12 Days of MAGA. I don't know if that's his group or not, but I guess he's wanting you to check that out. I-70, cool. Is that your group? But he's pointing us to 12 Days of MAGA on Facebook. He's got Facebook covered. Yes, I believe that is I-70. So Facebook.com YouTube.com/12, the number 12, Days of MAGA. Check it out, guys. That's I-70 over there.
Very nice. Thanks for that.
Good job. Yeah, don't forget to click like, subscribe, ring the bell. Also, you might have to resubscribe, so make sure that you're subscribed to this channel.
More than likely, you will have to
well.
resubscribe because they're unsubscribing people. They're not allowing people to come to the channel, and we are heavily censored, and that just means over the target, right? Not too many people in the world are talking and bringing you the information right to where what the president is trying to say and what the Q team is trying to point you to. There's very few of us out there whenever you take into consideration the whole world.
And Shady, Caitlin Alexander's very excited. Week of winning, and we still ain't seen nothing yet.
We ain't seen nothing yet.
You know, what are we? The Department of Winning? What is this?
And the United States Department of Winning.
Boom.
I need an echo for that.
Boom, boom, boom.
Winning.
You guys are awesome. We could probably do that echo too. We're gonna, we're new to this stuff. Oh, did you see? Oh, I got to tell you this story real quick. So I was watching Hannity, and you guys might have too. Did you guys notice when the president was muted? Who did that remind you of? I'm like, hey, I do that.
I did see that. It's so funny. They went to him last night. And you should have seen if you guys didn't see it, look at the look on Hannity's face when the president's not there. You can see he's like, oh my God, I'm getting ready to lose a producer. Somebody's going to get fired.
And Shady's like, I mean, he can hear me. And then the mods are like, I can't hear Matrix.
I'm like, oh, Matrix, you're muted.
And I'm like, the president he muted himself like I do all the time. But wow, I thought that was hilarious, man. That just made me laugh.
It's just so.
Our president. But it was a Fox News error, according to what Hannity said. But wow, this guy is just truly phenomenal.
I did not realize that this wasn't going to play any videos for me. That is just irritating. Look at this. The new browser set up with the new Twitter doesn't play videos. I mean, I'm pulling them up.
We might have to check your browser settings or something's wrong.
Yeah, well, I mean, I've got it. It was working fine before Twitter decided to switch themselves out. But see, look.
No, I get that. You
go right to it, and it was doing the same thing in Google Chrome. So it's weird. They're messing with stuff. So he was
Dents Plus TV. Thank you very much. And he Dents, thank you very much for the other donation as well. I forgot to mention you. Dents Plus
TV. Thank you, and thank you to everyone else. Anyone, Caitlin, Alexander, all the other people I probably missed because I'm got too many windows open over here. But man, this is Patriot supported radio, and we are planning on getting louder. Trust me, we are looking for other platforms to get louder on. And so if anyone out there has people that want us to come on, want us to come share, or want us to help Red Pill, then let me tell you something. We are out to do that. That's exactly what we think the future of this is all of us coming together to Red Pill together in real time for the future of our country and for the future of freedom. Really, literally, the future of freedom is at stake here, guys, and that is no joke, Matrix. I mean, we are seeing some really nice stuff. I'm going to let this play. I've got flipping over here to the new Rusty Shackelford video, Matrix, while we have a little conversation and let some people see what's going on out there.
By the way, that looks like poop, but
it might not be.
Could be other things, guys. We don't know. I mean, look at that.
I want you to pay attention to what this drone is showing us here. What you're seeing is probably not poop. I want you to. Now we're going to back this video up just a little bit more. I'm going to go back to. No, there's no audio, so let's go back here. I'm going to pause this right here. And we've done a little bit of research on what decomposing organic material looks like.
I can sing if you want some audio, Shady.
No, I don't want you to sing. No, it's okay. It's okay. So right here, I'm going to pause it. But look what looks to me like some sort of buffer. And look, I started playing this and the video started to buffer. Bad.
Of course.
Wow.
It happened to me all weekend.
As soon as I started to play this, it started to buffer. Maybe that's because it's turned up in high HD. But it's
YouTube. They just downgraded me to 144p. I'm changing it back to 720 here, but they're messing. It's YouTube and bandwidth. I can't even copy comments. I can't scroll. YouTube is really playing a number on me today as well. Coffee Crew says 1745. We are seeing history. Poly weekend. connect the dots. Oh yeah. Is that Polly? She's been doing an amazing decodes on the Epstein stuff. Is that working? Are you still having issues, Shady?
I went ahead and started to play it again. I'm going to see it. It got back to green, but I want people to kind of see a little bit of what these guys are doing with the drone. Whatever that is on the beach there, I am not convinced it is oil, and I'm not convinced it's algae, guys. And we can, I'll let you guys decide what you think that might be. But if you go back and look at this video again and do a little bit of research, I think you could decide to understand that this could be some sort of evidence dispersion technique they're working on here. And look, this guy's flying the drone right in on the workers there. He's not being bashful about it. Looks like we're starting to buffer again. As soon as I start playing some, this is going to get back to audio.
Look at that guy driving the car. So I have a tweet out to, what's her name? Let me just get her name, because I have a tweet out to her. She is the U.S. Virgin Island, what is she?
Oh, yeah. Where is that?
House Representative. It's Stacey Plaskett. And I have a couple of questions. Since we're the news now, I wanted to ask her some questions. I go, hello, U.S. Virgin Island Rep Stacey Plaskett. I have a couple of questions. One, what is being done about Little St. James Island? As you know, Epstein is all over the news. Two, can you confirm that there's an investigation on the island and it's been allegedly used for child trafficking? Let's see if she responds.
We demand answers.
There's some interesting stuff here. Stacey Plaskett, she's got Epstein owns a private island. She's received money, and the Anons are now digging underneath this tweet. It's absolutely amazing. And these people are corrupt. 78% of her donations are from PACs, and then there's others from like small people, but very, very few.
That was one of your most recent ones, right? I'm gonna get back over here so people can see that real quick.
Yeah, I can drop it into Twitter. Her tweets got 32 likes, 8 retweets, and my tweets got 508 likes, 215 retweets under hers. I love when we get more likes than the people that are allegedly public servants.
Yeah, public servants, question mark. Yeah.
There's the tweet there, guys. I just dropped it in for you if you guys want to retweet it or check it out too.
Yeah, thank you for that.
Right at the top, brother.
That's what I was thinking, but I moved over. I moved one too far, and then I came back, and then the president's like, damn, I like that. And you and your families are the same.
I like that. He likes it when I call him my president. I'd like it too. Yeah.
There it is. Here you go, guys. So you can see that.
I follow you.
And this is what we mean. It's a good point, very good point, strong point that you make here. This by being the news now, the idea that these representatives only have to answer to people that have news credentials is absurd. If they're in your district, they have to answer to you personally, and
public servants.
And right, they're not there to guard the prison door. They're there to make sure that everything functions and you're free to go wherever you want to go, not stay on their plantation or stay in their mindset. And us asking for accountability starts like this. It starts like this. It starts by you tagging them and you asking them questions and you saying, I want to know. How can you possibly be a representative of the Virgin Islands and not recognize what's going on in Little St. James? What have you overlooked, and why have you not revealed it? And if you do, maybe you're redeemable. But if you don't, we need other representation. I think it's pretty simple.
But check out her tweet. What is she? She's part of that Green New Deal crap. She's actually the co-chair of it. So she's been paid off. She's in the new Democrat coalition. And she's like, she's the task force co-chair. And she's urging POTUS to recommit to working with Congress to develop a comprehensive infrastructure legislation. Read our full letter. So meanwhile, Little St. James Island's infrastructure is totally changing, and you have no idea what's going on over there. And it's allegedly used for sex trafficking, and there's still workers on it. What's wrong with this picture?
Well, who's pulling the permits? Somebody somewhere's got to be approving permits. Somebody somewhere is doing, there's stuff being done somewhere. It's not just, it's not like we can't find it figured out, is it?
Quit making too much sense, Shady. Come on.
I'm sorry, man. It just happens to me. I kind of fall into it sometimes, my brother.
Amazing.
Man, I mean, it really is amazing. And so there you get to see a little bit of what your president is saying. And I wanted to play a couple of those videos. They weren't playing for us, but go over, please, guys. I mean, really, I say it a lot. Matrix says it a lot. We can't emphasize it enough. I understand that some people may not be on to Twitter, and you may not want to be Twitter. You may not like social media, but if you want to know what is going on in your country, simply wake up in the morning and read the president's tweets from the day before and take him at his word. And I promise you that your world will start making a lot more sense than it does whenever you put it through any filter that you see on TV. You know, we're paying attention to the mainstream news so that we can bring you the glaring, obvious reality that is hypocrisy. But the truth of the matter is the president is not communicating through your media. He answers their questions, but they do not have scoops, and they are not getting the information. And you know, this week, how many stories did they say they were false? I mean, they tried to tell us that there were 17 CIA operatives that Iran caught, and that didn't work. How many? And 17. And they tried to tell us that they took oil tankers, but the British are the ones who would be, you know, it's almost like the British are pretending like their tankers were taken or something.
So the CIA has an op, and they're pretending to be Iran, and they're pretending to be Britain. Okay, I get it. See, that's what you got to start understanding. And also, Fox News had our president in the kill box, Trump
in the kill box this week. How disgusting was that? While we were watching.
They knew we were
watching.
They knew we were watching. We're the news now, guys. We are the news. You are the news.
Man, that is really something that we have got to get forward marching with, because the information is coming out hard and fast, guys. Matrix, we're getting close to wrapping this one up. I wanted to share something with all of you. Another great Anon has produced an Anon song. I want to play this for you guys, and I want to share his Twitter with you. And you guys go over there and share some love with him. He actually comes from a part of the world close to where I grew up, and he sent me at Matrix and I this song this last week, and I wanted to play it for you guys. I want you guys to sit back and enjoy a little bit of Patriot winning here. Let's see if it'll play.
Storm of ruin, and we're standing out in the eye. Hard to make out what is real, tell the truth from a lie. But if you got a cue, we got an answer, and plenty more to say. See, they are sick and they are stupid, but they're about to have their day. See, the train is leaving the station for every people in every nation. Oh, it ain't about black and white, but every color of the light. So take this red pill and let's go. Grab some popcorn for the road. You see, the gavel of the Lord's about to fall. For where we going, you know, we go on. I said, do we go on? Call me crazy, call me mad. I'll just give you a high five and let the future prove the past till you open up your mind. From a mockingbird to a bird that's born to fly. You see, the trumpet sound is playing loud like a B-2 bomber up in the sky. You see, the train is leaving the station for every people in every nation. Oh, it ain't about black and white, but every color of the light. So take this red pill and let's go. Grab some popcorn for the road. See the gavel of the Lord's about to fall. So where we going? We go on. I said that we go on. Divided we fall, united we stand. Gotta trust yourself and trust that plan. Put on your arm, pick up your sword for God and country and the whole wide world. Said divided we fall, united we stand. Gotta trust yourself and trust that plan. So put on the armor, pick up your sword for God and country and the whole wide world. Said divided we fall, united we stand. Gotta trust yourself and trust that plan. So put on the armor, pick up your sword for God and country and the whole wide world. Said the train is leaving the station for every people in every nation. No, it ain't just red, blue, and white, no, but every color of the light. So take this red pill and let's go. Grab some popcorn for the show. You see the gavel of the Lord is about to fall. For where we go on, so where we go on, we go on. I said we go on.
Wonderful Anon content right there, guys. This is what it's all about. I don't think that we could get any closer to what this movement is about than songs like this and songs like so many other great artists. Look what this inspires in people, man. What a mantra. What a mantra. Where we go one, we go all. It's so powerful, Matrix. So powerful.
Put on the armor, pick up your sword. I mean, just so much. I mean, what a great song. Wow, Jeffrey. Wow, love it.
Unbelievable, man. I mean, really, really, really wanted to show you guys that because, and I think we're going to maybe get him on at some point so he can talk about a little bit of his creative, because the people's creative, inspirational spirit is exactly what we're aiming at here. We want nefarious characters locked up, I know, but we also I want my country back, Matrix. I want the place back where I love, where everybody had fun.
For the first time, my brother.
And where we share with each other, and where we recognize that if I were to buy something or trade something to you that you create, then it becomes different to me. It's not just something that's sitting over here that's engineered obsolescence, and it's going to be, you're somebody who makes something. People who take pride in what they are. That's what they tried to steal from us, man. They didn't try. They tried to steal our mental ability to be great, as well as our wealth. But our mental focus on greatness, our mental focus on number one, our desire to we're not trying to be number one to shame others. We're trying to be number one to inspire others. We want others to step up. That was the idea. That was the idea that was usurped. That was the idea that, me and you, we've had lots of discussions about how long this goes back. This could go back a long time. This may go back to the beginning of our country. They may have known this was going to happen. They may have set us up to recognize that it was going to happen, and that one day we would have to come to this conversation and jump up here on this wall and say, no more. No more. I've had enough. No more. And I think that the no more mantra, the no more spell, is what we're going to use to overtake their you can't spell, or you shouldn't, or like the ex-president 42 was saying, or order out of chaos or whatever. It's like, no. No. No more order out of chaos.
And freedom is beautiful.
Freedom has no chaos.
Order out of chaos. And order out of chaos is ordo ab chaos. It is high Mason, 33-degree Mason term.
It's a spell. It's a spell, and we are breaking it. You guys have broken it. I think they've broken it, Matrix. And it looks like that we've maybe come around to the end of another Q Lounge Live. I think we've done like 94. Was it 94 Matrix Groove Hours already or something? We're coming around on
96 or 97.
So we're going to hit 100 next week?
Wednesday's 100.
100. So guys, don't miss our 100th episode of the Matrix Groove Hour on Wednesday, and that will be with Liz Crokin. Also, maybe Miss Vandersteel does a little appearance next week. Probably have Paul Saran on Thursday. Definitely gonna have Carly back next Friday, guys. I hope everyone out there really loved the Carly show. I mean, that is something spectacular to behold, man. It's something spectacular to behold. The people that want to talk, people that want to pick up a microphone, people that want their voices to be heard, simply because we know we can be again. Not because we didn't have anything to say before. It was because we were being shut up and told that we were unworthy and told that no one wanted to hear from us. And that narrative being in the media so strong was a pretty big, what do you want to call it? You know, like a chain, like roped in, tied up, kept silent, sorted out from everyone else. The truth is, we've been the majority the whole time. How many times in your life, especially red pilling Matrix, have you referred to the silent majority? Who's the silent majority? Right. The people who are ashamed, the people who don't speak. That's who's speaking up out there. It's not just the silent majority in America. It's the silent majority for freedom worldwide. If you haven't seen what's going on in Hong Kong, we didn't cover that much either, but Hong Kong is in upheaval. They are not going to take the idea that they can start extraditing people back to the mainland. They're like, no. And we got some wonderful anons out there running around the street, anonymous in Hong Kong, causing disruption for freedom. The government wants to view you as causing disruption to their system, but they're causing the disruption for the productivity of freedom, not against what's currently happening as much as for what we want in the future. And that's a lot of our strength, my friend. And with that, I'm kind of wrapped up, Matrix. I mean, you might want to yell at them for a minute. I think they were good out there tonight. Were they good?
No, they were really good. The chat was awesome out there tonight. A lot of you guys are the most red-pilled audience out there. There's Dexter Greener. Yes, we've got stuff going on in Puerto Rico. The Anons found that in 17 that Puerto Rico is being run. The money is being run by Rothschilds and company. Guys, we know it all. Anons have it all. There's just so much to do. We could be on 24/7, 365, just talking about stuff that's going on. And we are going to have our 100th show next Wednesday. And if everything works out correctly, we're going to have Liz Crokin on that show. And I'm very excited to have her with us. I've been a big fan of hers for a long time, Shady. Also, I want to just give one shout out. This week, Patriot Beacon is here. They have the Patriot Legacy flashlight. Use that code ITM20 at checkout for additional 20% off. They've been very good to us, guys. They've been very, very good to us, and I'm just so happy for them to be helped. And then you guys, the super chat here has helped out so much. We've got the PayPal, the Patreon. I know Poussin and
the guys will get you some links. The
snail mail, and I love you guys very much. Shady, what a great show. Q,
thank you.
Next week sounds like it's going to be the big week. Shady.
Wow. So we better rest up so we can get ready for our recasting of the 13th hour. Notice, guys, that we come on live at the 13th hour every day because we are there to break the spell of the 13 Illuminati bloodlines and their attempted perceived control over this realm. We are here to bring pain, and I guarantee you we're back on that wall come Monday.
We'll be there. 1 p.m. Eastern. What is it? What is it your time over there, Western?
Oh, it's like around 10 a.m. Eastern. So whenever you're telling me good morning, it's afternoon. We're all confused.
Good morning. I don't even know. Yeah, but we got Kiwi Patriot. It's Thursday of next week in New Zealand right now. So
yeah, it's already next Thursday.
Exactly. So Kiwi, the awesome mods out there. I can't thank you guys enough for donating your time and resources and minds. Everybody out there on the Patreon, the PayPal, the super chats here. It's okay. No need to donate. It's not a requirement. Donation is a freedom, and we love you. And we want to keep doing more. This is what we do now, guys. This is it, and we want to keep bringing you much more. Shady.
That is 55 Mr. Matrix worldwide. If you do not know, that is at intheMatrixx with 3 X's on Twitter. This is the intheMatrixx channel on YouTube. We are here to bring pain, guys. We're here to show the world the truth. And the truth isn't pretty, but the truth is real. The truth is the truth. We do not have emotional connections to it, and we do not edit the truth. And that is unfortunate in some cases, but it is what we are dealing with. And the Q team wants us to be honest, and that's exactly what this plan is. That's what the whole goal of the Q plan is. It is to bind you to this spirit of freedom, to bind you to that part of you that will never, ever, ever let go of love and light and truth at the center, at the core, the very dominant force of our being wants to be free. It wants to be released. It does not want to be choked, and that is what the cabal is afraid of, because within that freedom, you, Anons, demand justice. And you want justice. And with justice comes accountability. And once we start making these people accountable, you're gonna see some pain. And all of the time that you've spent thinking that we're not seeing things fast enough, I promise you, you're gonna see things plenty fast, guys. So with that, I want to thank you so much for coming to the show. Thanks for joining Matrix and I here on the Q Lounge Live. Please join us. Come over, check out the website. If you need help red pilling people, the website is there for that. intheMatrixxx with 3x's.com, built specifically for you to red pill your family and friends, because now the Mueller report is behind us. Please, everyone out there, feel free to come in and post in the YouTube comments below. If you have a question, please ask, and if you can't answer, if someone can answer, direct them to us. Maybe one of us can answer. But we want to spread the notion that there is a clear line between the truth and the lie. And the lie is that they are the global elite. The truth is that you are the global elite. You will never give up on freedom. You will never give up on truth. And you will never stop winning. I don't care how tired you are. I don't care how much mud you got on your boots. I don't care how much it rains in the storm. You will never stop winning. And your president told you that. And you all knew it. Thanks so much, everybody, to all the great moderators out there who have brought you sauce throughout the Q Lounge Live tonight. Thanks to everyone who has joined us. Carle Bonet for joining us on the show this week. Thanks to all the research anons out there. Paul Saran, wonderful, wonderful researchers. Jordan Say, the Praying Medic, Serial Brain 2, iPod, SGT Report, Lisa Mae Crowley, Dustin Nemos, JT Wild, X22 Report, Anon Decoder, Blessed to Teach, Lionel Media, Solon Green, Stormy Patriot Joe out there. We got I-70 out there. Go check out their channel as well. We got Tori Says, we got Red State Radio, we've got Anons coast to coast, everyone. Don't hesitate to talk to people. Matrix is right whenever he tells you it's time to start talking to people and let them know the truth, because the truth is sometimes hard to swallow, but no matter what, it is the truth. And with that, I'm going to jump out of here, guys. We will see you Monday. Good night.
See a Benz on dealer. On the road 20 deep, so it's